second here to jump on in. I'm actually going to turn on the game that's going on right now. So while everybody gets in here, who's playing tonight? I'm actually not 100% sure who is playing. Let's do this real quick. Hey, what's going on, everyone? What's up, Dave? What's up, Ben? What's up, Stocky? What's up, Jeff? Spaceman, Tanya. What's going on? Daniel, Fishing, Grant. What's up, Logan? Mets and Phillies tonight, huh? All right, Anthony, what's up? Hi, Drew. What's going on, everyone? Hi, Nate. Hi, Justin. Heath. Brody and Mitchell, Adrian and Joshua. All right. So I'm going to, while everyone says hello and gets in here real quick, I am going to put on that Mets game. Hey, Chris. All righty. Hold on one sec, everyone. Actually, while I'm logging in here, can everyone give this video a thumbs up? We're going to try to get a lot of thumbs up, or like the video, I should say. I'm doing well. How are you doing, Rodney? Here we go. A little New York Mets, Philadelphia Phillies. Let's join live. Let's get this game up here on the computer. What's up, Chet? Perfect. All right. No one plays defense anymore? What's up, Justin? It's all right if you hit dislike by accident. You can change it to a like. We got a 4-4 game in the 8th here, huh? And McNeil with a hit to right field. That guy just hits. I don't know how he's doing this year, but I know that he just always seems to hit. When he swings, he puts the barrel on the ball. Hello, crew. Oh, Joey Gallo got thrown out today. I did not see that. I've been at baseball for pretty much the entire day. So I got home a little while ago, made a video on the whole Cubs, Reds, Amir Garrett, Rizzo, Baez thing. Thanks, Dylan. Wow, the Cubs scored 12 and still lost. What was my welcome to college moment? I don't know if I specifically had a welcome to college moment. At least off the top of my head, I can't really think of one. Give me a few minutes to think about that. I'm not really a Red Sox fan. I grew up a big Red Sox fan. But I kind of stopped cheering for them once I got drafted. And I just started playing all the time. I couldn't follow them anymore, so I fell out of touch with them, I guess. Did any college coaches promise me playing time when I was being recruited? I don't remember anyone really promising me I'd be a starter. It was one thing I tried to figure out was, looking at what players they had returning and how well those players did, and then looking at what other players were being recruited with me in my class. I tried to figure out where I'd have the best time or the best opportunity to play right away, but no one really said like, oh, Matt, if you come play for us, you'll start every game or you'll start as a freshman. I also kind of based it off the scholarship offers. So, if I was getting a really high scholarship offer, it's a pretty good indication that I'm very high on their list and I'm probably going to receive playing time. But again, it depends how you do when you get in there. Thanks, Paul. What was my last hit in the minor leagues? Oh, I don't remember my last hit. Specifically, I honestly don't remember what it was. I remember my last at bat. It was Garrett Cole struck me out to end my career. I got released the next day. How do I feel about pitchers pimping big strikeouts? Well, I got into it in my video today with the whole Amir Garrett thing. I'm not against being excited and fist pumping and even a little bit of yelling and stuff. As long as you're okay as a pitcher, as long as you're okay with a guy taking you deep and then staring at the ball or walking down the line or flipping his bat, because that's kind of the equivalent. I wasn't a big fan of what Amir Garrett did because I feel like he was directly, screaming at a hitter. It looked like that would be like hitting a home run, and instead of bat flipping it, you just start screaming at the pitcher. Like, I don't think that would be acceptable. My last hit in the majors was 2008. Doing great, baseball. How you doing? Boy. This guy throws hard as you know what. I haven't missed too much. Just talking some baseball. I'm doing great, Luke. How are you? Is it hard to hit in the majors? Yes, it's very hard. Well, it's hard to hit everywhere, but very hard to hit in the majors. Baseball season's going great. Thank you. First home run ball in the minors, I never got that ball. Nope. Is it possible to get drafted out of high school without knowing that you did? I mean, I guess it's possible, but you're going to get a call from someone to let you know that you got drafted. So, I mean, I guess if you turn your phone off and don't watch television and don't go on the internet and, then I guess it is possible to not know, yeah. You just got cut from tryouts for a middle school team. What do I do? Well, it depends where you're from. I mean, in our area, we have there's other teams, other middle school teams. So whether it's like a travel ball team or maybe it's just like a Babe Ruth team, there's a lot of options in our area. So I would do some research on what other leagues are in your area, what other teams there are to get on so you're able to play. But I'm sure there's got to be something that you can get on and play. Acuna and Trout for MVP? Sure, those they're two pretty good players. Does the arm angle does arm angle matter when throwing a slider? So I think everybody is. I think a little bit of arm slot will kind of determine what type of breaking balls you're able to throw best. Like usually kind of over the top is a little bit more breaking ball, curveball, I should say, and a little bit more like three quarter. I don't know if you guys get, a little bit more slider here. Not always the case, but I would say that is typically the case. So, and you can kind of mess around with that also. The same thing. I mean, I'm not a huge pitching guy, so. But I do know, like for me, I was more of a higher arm slot. And I always felt like I could throw a curveball better. Oh, we have a super chat, and it looks like it's a picture of RC from the NYC, and let's check it out. It is RC from the NYC. What's up, Matt? Hey, Laura, what's up, chat? Hope all is good after 1 month of the MLB done. In your opinion, any good or bad surprises so far? Well, I think there's been a lot of good surprises. I think there's been, and I've actually fallen out of touch the last like 3 or 4 days. I don't know what's going on. And the weekends for me are usually I don't get to watch much Major League Baseball because I have so much of our Antonelli baseball games going on. But I mean, there's been a lot of teams that have been surprises. Red Sox have been a big surprise, I'd say. Royals have been a big surprise. Oakland A's started horribly and then they went on fire. There's been some surprise like the Yankees not playing very well. So I think there's been a lot of surprises. He's not very happy after watching him there. Top 5 baseball conferences that are not in the Power 5. So this is actually, I know a lot about college baseball programs. but I honestly don't pay attention. I can't even name a lot of the conferences. So it's a really hard question for me to ask. I ask all the time, like when we're talking about teams, I always say, what conference are they in? Like, I don't know. I know I know the Power Fives, but after that, I focus more, I guess, on the programs and on the conferences. We have a super chat from I am Kelvin Kelly. Thank you so much for the super chat. 8-year-old boy has decent swing mechanics, but trouble making contact. Seems to be overstriding and also having timing issues. Any drills you recommend? Well, it's we have some drills up on our YouTube channel. On if you go to our hitting playlist, it's a little bit tough to prescribe a drill without really knowing if he's overstriding. I mean, usually I'll use simple things like, so for strides, if you're talking about stride direction, we'll use like a little stick, or you can just put a line on the ground where we have them stride straight. You could even put it in front of, you could, depending how far they're striding, if they're striding too far, you can put something to the point where you want them to stride on. So maybe it's even something simple like a little piece of tape or something on the ground, and just kind of have them go through some dry, not even swings, but just learning and feeling where you want them to stride to. So the right direction and then the right distance. The closer your feet start, the bigger you've got to stride. The wider they start, the shorter you have to stride. So like simple things like that. And then timing issues. Timing issues could be a bunch of different things. It could be, bat path has a little bit to do with timing. When you're getting your load started and ready to hit has something to do with timing. And so I think a lot of it, I was working with a hitter the end of last week before our games this weekend, and we were just talking through timing. A lot of hitters, it's one of those things I think where I kind of take for granted because I'm old, that timing doesn't seem as complicated to me, I guess. But a lot of young players, like they don't, a lot of them don't even know if they're early or if they're late, and then why are they early or why are they late. So just kind of talking through all that and getting the hitters to understand, like, if I'm late, I have to get started earlier. There's so many kids that like just sit there. They just sit and they wait for the ball to be thrown, and then the ball's released, and then they start to get ready for hit and to get ready to hit, and then they're super late on everything, and they have no clue. Again, I don't know if they're late or early. You didn't really say, but the drills don't have to be crazy. They can be like super simple. And again, some of it might just be talking through it. Justin, thank you so much for the super chat. Furthest ball I ever hit. I don't know the distance, because back when dinosaurs roamed the earth, we didn't have like all the cool stat cast and all those things. So I have no idea. But if I had to guess, it's either a single A game against Rancho Cucamonga, which I crushed a grand slam on a first pitch, fastball down, like one of my best ones ever, hit up over the scoreboard. If you look at the Rancho Cucamonga field, I don't know if they still play there, but I hit it up over the scoreboard in left center field. And then I hit 2 balls. There's a ball in the gap. That's a big one right there. Gonna clear the bases. And then I hit 2 home runs in Springfield, Double A against the Cardinals, that I hit out of the stadium. That I hit those pretty well. So those are probably the best ones. Bruce Ballin, is that how you say it? Thank you so much for the super chat. What is your take on the Cat 7 BB core? Worth it. So I've talked about this in a few live chats. For me, I think a lot with bats are feel. Like, does it feel good in your hand? Some bats are end loaded. Some bats are more balanced. There's different, and every hitter is different. So I have a hard time telling people like, oh, I love this bat. There's been plenty of times bats I just put in my hand, I take a few swings, and I'm like, I love this bat. And then someone could come and grab it and go, oh, I hate this bat. So it's hard to say. So that's one thing. The second thing is, I don't swing. I have to swing the bat to get a feel for it. I coach a lot of kids, but I don't really swing their bats, so it's hard for me to say. So I would just go grab the bat, go to a store or something, find a buddy that has one, hold it, swing it, hit a few balls, see what you think. Evan, thank you so much for Super Chat. Have you ever been the target of an opposing team trying to get under your skin and drilling you with a pitch at any point in your playing days? Nope. So nothing comes to mind. He looks pretty excited right there. Is he flossing? I don't know if you guys are watching the Mets-Phillies game, but I don't ever remember being hit on purpose. Now, maybe I was and I just wasn't aware of it, but I don't remember that ever happening. I don't ever remember getting hit and being like, that guy did that on purpose. Like, I don't remember that. And I don't remember anyone trying to get under my skin. I was pretty if you had a problem with me, I'd find that hard to believe because I never yelled at anyone during my playing career. I never tried to hurt anybody. It's just kind of friendly. What did Dirk Hayhurst in one of his books? I was in a couple of them, but the first one he talks about me a decent amount, and I think he compared me to a puppy dog or something. Said as long as you kept me fed, like I'd be your best friend or something like that. So I messed up that quote, but if you have his book, just go back and check it out. I would say that's how I pretty much was as a player. I think I was pretty much friends with everybody. EJ, thank you for the super chat. What is the closest minor league team near where you live? Did you ever go to the minor league or independent league games growing up? So the closest team was the Lowell Spinners, which are no longer, I don't believe. I went to a Lowell Spinners game, 2 years ago? They're from my house, probably about 25 minutes away. Now the closest team might be Worcester, where AAA for the Red Sox moved to. Worcester's about an hour from my house. Grinch Bag, thank you so much for Super Chat. How many wins for the Detroit Tigers this year? Shake and bake. Well, going into the year, I'd say not many. What's their record right now? I'm not 100% sure what their record is right now. But I'll say under 500. I'm totally guessing too. I don't even know what their record is. I expected them to have 3 wins this year. I'm just kidding, not 3 wins, but is Wade LeBlanc the greatest player of all time? Without a doubt. Super chat from Jake. He said super chat. I don't know if he really gave me a super chat. I've never faced Steven Strasburg, but I played with him and played behind him, and he was nasty. I played 1 year with the Nationals. We were together in spring training, and then we were together. He came down to AAA I think he got hurt that year. He came down to rehab. Never found the guy that stole things from my car. My favorite team growing up was the Red Sox. How to improve timing. A little bit of timing is bat path. So the more my barrel is behind the ball and on path with the pitch, being slightly up, the better chance I have of squaring it up, so it automatically improves my timing. Some part of timing is controlling your load in your body. If you just kind of fall forward or jump forward, you're not under control, and so it's much harder to be on time. It's hard to control your body. It's hard to make adjustments. You really only can hit the exact pitch you're waiting on. And then some of it is when you get started, when you get loaded. And so all those you improve them through the on-deck circle, working on your timing, getting in sync with the pitcher. We call it dancing with the pitcher. You work on in practice, working on your path, working on controlling your body and controlling your load. We have a super chat, everybody. Hold on one sec. Super chat. We have a couple super chats. Zach, thank you so much for the super chat. You said you only got a 60% scholarship in one of your videos. Did anyone get legit full rides back then, or was it the closest thing to it? Yeah, I think I got a 67, 65% to Wake Forest. I had one school offer me a full scholarship. It was St. Louis. Other than St. Louis, Wake Forest was my highest offer. In baseball, typically, if you get like a 50% scholarship in baseball, you're doing really well. There's only 11.7 scholarships, and there's 35-man roster essentially. So, so therefore, getting 50% is still doing pretty good for yourself. And so there's very, 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 very rarely a full ride. Now, people embellish and people make stuff up, and then people like, I'm not saying no one gets a full ride. I'm sure there's some players that do, but if you talk to people that talk to me about when I played, they'll be like this. A lot of people come up and be like, "Hey, Matt, like you got a full ride to Wake Forest," and I'm like, "No, I didn't." I've heard that like 1,000 times. So, you know, how it starts. You start off by telling someone you got 50%, and the next person tells someone 50, but they hear 60, and then they tell someone and they heard 70, and then they tell someone, oh, it was pretty much a full scholarship, and then they tell someone that, and then they hear full scholarship, and then all of a sudden you got a full scholarship. That's how it happens. Thank you for the super chat. I don't know what this says. Six act. Did you ever face a pitcher who threw a screwball? I faced some changeups that acted kind of like screwballs. They kind of, if a righty threw it, it really worked back into me. I don't know if you would consider that a screwball, but I faced some good changeups that worked that way. Again, I'm not sure if you would technically call that a screwball. I don't know facing a pitcher that said, like, yes, I throw a screwball. With that being said, when you face a guy, the pitcher, they're never going to say, oh, I have a screwball and this or that. You're looking at the ball and you're kind of reading how it moves, and then you can name it anything you want, I guess. EJ, thank you again for the super chat. What is the highest average you can see a player hit? I think someone can realistically hit between 370 and 385 for season, but not 400. Yeah, I think in a full 162 season, I don't think anyone's hitting 400 again. I think the pitching is way too good. And there's more. The starting pitching is way better. The bullpens are deeper. Everybody throws harder. I just think it's just too hard. Uh-oh, what happened to Bryce? What happened to Bryce? I just looked up. He took a swing, and now he's hunched over. What did he hurt? That's not good, everybody. I don't know if we have any Phillies fans on here, but never good when you take a swing. I think he just said I'm all right, but if you take a swing and you don't hit the ball, and then every time I hurt myself swinging is when I swung and missed and didn't hit a ball, and then looked like it looked like his top hand there. It looked like the left hand. Let me see this real quick. Takes it off the bat. Right here, he kind of shook it, and then he put it behind his back. All right, everybody. Now, I have a lot of history with wrist issues, so I'll tell you this. We will find out real quick right here. If he swings and misses again, he's going to grimace. He's bunting now. What in God's green earth is going on right now? Paul, thank you so much for Super Chat. Can you explain how it happens again? Because you kind of lost me there. Uh-oh, Paul. What do you mean? What happens again? Sorry. Paul, let me know in the live. Does anyone know what Paul meant? Ideal launch angle? I mean, it depends a little bit on what type of play you are. The bigger and strong you are, Bryce is bunting again. All right, so this is interesting. So he definitely hurt his wrist because he's trying to bunt. I don't know why he didn't just come out of the game when they came out to check him. But that's not good. He's definitely hurt. I missed a super chat. Let's watch Bryce again real quick. That's not a good sign. I think it's something to do with the wrist, or I don't know if he's had any wrists or issues going on with that top hand, but it just looked like it was something to do with that top hand. Oh, so launch angle has to do a little bit with how big and strong you are. Like this, the smaller you are, you're gonna want to hit a little lower launch angle. The bigger you are, the more powerful you are, you want to hit a little bit higher. So it's hard to say ideally. Like, what's the average for a double? 17 degrees, maybe? I might be making that up. I'd have to go back and look them all up. All right, everyone, hold on one sec. Did I miss a super chat? I did get one there that I wasn't sure. I'm not sure exactly what the question was. Sorry, these questions are coming so fast. I can't keep up with all of them. What tells the hitter where to position himself when he looks into his hat? So it's going to have a list of all the players, and it's just going to tell you really quickly. It might be something like ST, so it'll tell you like straight up, pull, oppo. But it'll just have like a couple of letters next to each name. I actually almost never sat breaking ball in the majors, except I did sit breaking ball against Jeff Suppan because it said that like on a 3-2 count, he threw 50-something% curveballs or something like that. I sat on it and struck out because I didn't get it. Fingernails? I'm not sure. I hate having short fingernails. Boston College embarrassed my Miami Hurricanes this weekend. In baseball, they did. I didn't see that. Miami always has a ton of talent, but our Northeast U.S. prospects just more polished out of high school than Florida Sunbelt guys. No, Florida guys are way more polished than Northeast. Northeast are probably some of the least polished players in the country. We can never play baseball. Thoughts on the NL West right now? Well, the Giants have been, that's another surprise team, right? The Giants, again, I don't know how they've been doing the last 4 or 5 days. I haven't watched, but they were playing really, really well. So, and then the Dodgers, of course. And Padres are loaded. So I think they'll be in it. What's it like to play in Colorado? Yeah, it's pretty, the field is big. The first thing I thought of playing in Colorado was like, wow, there's a lot of field here. It just feels huge. The ball does fly better, but the field is also huge. Hello, Matthew from Wellesley. Do you know if your channel is known in baseball circles? What kind of baseball circles? I would say our channel is pretty well known in baseball circles, yes. Ellsbury in the CCBL. I have a Ellsbury story. I won't tell it now because it's a long story. But if you want to hear the Ellsbury story, just type in, maybe like Antonelli baseball, Jacoby Ellsbury or something like that, and it should come up on YouTube. I did not see that Bo Bichette single off the wall, so I'll have to go check that out. Thanks, Chet. Never been ejected from a game. Nope. How can I get better at tracking off speed when catching? Well, I would get on a machine that's going to fire me like hard off speed pitches, and I would just work on that over and over and over again. And you also get a lot of your work in bullpens, so I'd have, you just got to catch more bullpens, but a machine's a great way to get a lot of reps. Do I think reaching on a fielder's choice should count against the batter's average? Yeah, I think it's fine the way it is now. Would I coach college or minor league if I had the opportunity? Well, I was a college coach, and then I left, and then I've had plenty of opportunities to go coach in the minors, and I have not taken any of them. So I guess the answer would be not right now. I think most people assume that, like, if you coach, say, travel ball and you got a college offer, you'd go take it. Or if you coach college and you got a pro ball offer, you go take it. But it's not always the case. Like I said, I've been offered a decent amount of jobs at all different levels, and I have not taken any yet. I just like what I'm doing right now, and that doesn't mean I wouldn't take it forever, just at this point right now. I probably wouldn't. Best batting stance? I think batting stance is personal preference, but really it's all about getting to a good hitting position. So your stance has to allow you to get to that. If it doesn't, then you got to change your stance. The best way to find it, I don't know because everyone's so different. One suggestion I was told that I looked uncomfortable in the box. So one of my coaches said, he said, I want you to wiggle the bat 3 times. I want you to pick the bat up and get ready to hit. And however you get ready to hit, that's your stance. And I was like, okay. So I went like this. I picked the bat up. I swung, boom, and I hit a single up the middle. I went 3 for 3, I think, that day. And that's how I got my stance when I was struggling a little bit. So how do I deal with disciplinary issues with players on our Antonelli baseball team? We've done all different things. It depends on what happens. Like, we've had to remove players from the program in the past. I've had to take away playing time. I've had to talk with parents. I've had to do all different things. So it really just depends. I'd say no 2 situations are the same. So, how old are you? I'm 36. If the Red Sox offered me the manager's position right now, would I take it? Yeah, probably. Do I watch many of John Boy's breakdowns? I have seen his breakdowns. I wouldn't say that I watch them regularly. I actually don't watch a lot of YouTube because I'm either at baseball or I'm putting up my own videos. What type of players do you think make the best coaches? Well, it seems like there's a lot of catchers that end up being good managers or good coaches. I think it really depends, though. I don't know if it, I don't know. I think you learn a lot about baseball from being in different experiences as a player, but I don't know if you have to be a player to be a good coach. So. Do I like Yadier Molina? Yeah, sure. He's a great player. Wow, it is. We have a lot of questions tonight. Could everyone do me a favor? Smash the like button. Let's get a bunch of likes on this video. Matt, did you fall to the 19th round in high school because you said you wouldn't sign? Nope, I never said I wouldn't sign. I just think the teams knew that I had a pretty good scholarship to Wake Forest, and so I think they assumed that I would be a little bit tough to sign. But I never said, like, oh, I need this amount of money to sign, or anything like that. We've got a super chat from Mike W. Thank you so much for the super chat. Best tools player you played with or against at any level that you were shocked they did not make it to the big leagues? Man, that's a good question. I have to really think about that. I've played against so many players. I'm just trying to think really quickly, players that I played with in the minors that I thought were like uber talented. One guy that comes to mind is this kid, Yordani Ramirez. I don't know if he ever played in the big leagues. I'm not sure. He's the best center fielder I ever saw in my life. He had one of the strongest throwing arms I ever seen, and he was probably the best center fielder. All I know is when I watched him, all I thought about was Andrew Jones. Like, I grew up watching Andrew Jones, who is obviously a legit center fielder, and I always would think of Andrew Jones. This kid was the best center fielder I ever seen, by far, I'd say. And I don't think he ever made it to the big leagues as a position player. Maybe he did, and I just don't remember, but. I'm scared to try out for my school team because I'm a lefty catcher. I am scared I will get picked on. I would just do it. Who cares what they say to you? I would just go out there and be better than all the righty catchers and then tell them, well, I can't really tell you what I would tell them, but I wouldn't worry about what other people are going to say. I'll make you feel better. I get yelled at all the time on my YouTube channel. Anytime you're going to put yourself out there and do anything, someone's going to say something silly to you, call you a name or whatever. So you just don't listen to them. Any players from the MLB that you still keep in touch with? All my friends live far away, so like, do I still talk to some of the guys that I played with? Yes. The one that I talked to most recently, I would say I probably talked to Whey Leblanc the most. I have not seen Wade in a long time, but that's someone that's like still playing in the major leagues. What are some things you miss about college, about playing college baseball, or just about college? I'll assume it's a baseball question. I would say things that I maybe even took for granted was, high school baseball and college baseball is really about winning games. I think that's really important. When you get the pro ball, it becomes more about developing players in the minor leagues. The major leagues is all about winning games. But that was one really, one thing about, if I could do it again and go back and play, and this might have helped if there was no draft involved, because one problem with college baseball that I've talked to you guys about before is that when I was playing college baseball, especially my junior year, my freshman year, this was not the case. My freshman year was probably my most fun year of college baseball. But junior year, I'm so concerned about the draft all the time that like you start to become, you overemphasize everything that you're doing and you don't play to just, have fun and just win the game sometimes. Do you feel the Padres took you off the path of major league success messing with your swing? It's a good question, Dylan. We could talk about that a long time. I think that anything the Padres did with my swing was to try to help me get to the major leagues, so I don't, I think I did get somewhat confused when it came to my swing. When they were trying to help me, again, they're trying to help me. So I think that might have had a little bit of something to do with some of it. I also think that I think some of my injuries and stuff made it difficult as well. Maxwell, thank you for the super chat. Can you get better at seeing pitches in the bigs? Yeah, I think anytime you're seeing pitches, you're getting better. You're getting better at reading it, recognizing it, determining if it's going to be a strike, if it's going to be a ball, and then being able to put the bat on the ball. So I do think that you do get better. I mean, that's why guys usually get better the more they, more experience they get, because it's just like it's a computer logging, you see all these pitches and you're just logging and logging and logging all these pitches, and the more you see pitches, the more, the next time you see it, your brain, again, whether you even realize it or not, your brain is like, I've seen this pitch before. I've seen this pitch do this before. And that's how you get better at reading and recognizing. Andrew, thank you for the super chat. Matt, there's been lots of talk this season that the umpiring is worse than past years. Do you think there's any truth to that? I probably haven't watched enough games to know that, and I have not looked at any data or anything on that. So I can't say for certain. And I also don't know if you mean just behind the plate or on the bases. I do know that I saw Andrew McCutchen getting called out for being out of the baseline, which I thought was, I didn't see the game. I just saw the replay of it. I saw so many people talking about it. It looked like a pretty bad call. But I can't say that it's worse than in years past. I do think everything any bad call is going to get more attention today than it ever has before. You know, it's going to be on TV and every social media platform and all that. So it might give the sense that umpiring is horrible because you see every bad call everywhere, where you didn't see that in the past. I've also watched old games of Greg Maddux and Tom Glavine pitching where they're throwing the ball like this far off the plate and the umpire is striking everybody out. So it feels like the zone has kind of, from at least back then, like the zone has come in, but I also feel like the zone has expanded a little bit north and south. It does depend on the umpire a little bit. I love my time in San Diego. Yes, I thought that the weather was probably my favorite part. The weather was amazing out there, and I'm from Massachusetts, so it doesn't take, I guess, much great weather to make me excited, but that was great weather. Drama, the one, thank you so much for Super Chat. Do you think you would have played better and stayed in the MLB longer if they didn't change your swing? I would say these are always tough questions for me because I don't want to say like anyone messed me up. Like ultimately, I didn't hit very well. I do think that some of the things that I felt most comfortable and natural doing, which was a very wide stance and a very high up back elbow, they weren't really big fans of. The Padres weren't. And so this is the way I kind of feel, is that like I hit really well my first few years, and they were kind of waiting for me to not hit well to then try to introduce some new things. And then once I started to not hit well a little bit, that's when they started introducing it. And so then I went from not hitting well and then having to try to change these certain things. And that's when things started to kind of snowball on me, and I really, really struggled. And couldn't figure out how to get out of that. So some of that is my fault, not being able to figure it out, you know. Tim Hill, thank you so much for Super Chat. Talent aside, can you speak to the value of being a good teammate in the dugout, clubhouse, etc.? Yeah, I think that I guess it depends on what angle you're looking at this from, but I just think like I'm trying to think of how to attack this question. Are you like we talk a lot about the importance of being a good teammate. Like one, it could be to help you get recruited because college coaches want like good people. They want kids that are going to learn and be open to coaching and you know, not be a pain and the you know what and all that. So that's one thing. Whether it's from the perspective of just, you know, helping your team win. Like I think teams, people ask a lot about chemistry and does chemistry matter? I think when you're like you want talented players, yes, but I do think there's something to be said for if you're going to be around guys for a lot of days in a row. Like you don't want to be around a bunch of people you don't like a bunch of jerks or a bunch of a-holes or something like that. So, and then you can look at it from just being a good person, like, you know, like caring about the success of other people, not just yourself, and being, you know, unselfish. And so, yeah, I guess it's a long-winded way to say, no matter how you look at it, yes, being a good teammate is important in the dugout, clubhouse, practice field, all that. Yeah, hit that like button. I agree. Hit that like button. I did not see the Brewers Mariners game with the interference call. I'll have to go check that out. What's the role of the front stride foot? That's a good question. Typically, when I'm talking about the stride foot, you know, I'm big on getting the back leg loaded. So I talk more about back leg than I do front foot or front with that. But when I'm thinking about the stride, if I'm gonna ever talk about the front foot, the only ways I really talk about it is one, timing. Like when do I get my foot off the ground? Right, so I've got to load and I have to stride, so I've got to get my foot off the ground in time to allow me to get ready to hit. So that's one thing. I talk about direction, and momentum. If I stride in or dive in with my front foot, then my momentum, could start to work over the plate, which makes it tough for me to then turn. So those are kind of like the main things, but I don't. I would say that that's the main stuff that I would talk about. Yeah. His video game Matt going to get a fourth pitch. I don't know if he has one pitch, but sure, we'll add a fourth if they'll let me. Would I rather face Prime Kershaw or Prime DeGrom? Kershaw. I think what DeGrom is doing right now is like basically unhittable. Jack Flaherty. I have a Jack Flaherty, actually, a really cool signed rookie card of his. I think he's super talented. I haven't watched him pitch yet this year, but I think he's got really good stuff. Did I ever get advice from Tony Gwynn? I did a little bit. Talked to me about my load a little bit, my swing. And so that was the main stuff that he talked to me about. My thoughts on MLB The Show 21. I'm just kind of getting into it. I've had it for 2 weeks now, maybe? Not even? 10 days, maybe? They're working a lot of the kinks out, I think. So it'll probably be easier to answer in another week or two. Anytime a new game comes out, I feel like there's a lot of things that are not. It's not like a finished product yet, but. My kids are 6 and 3. There's a ball in the gap. How would I compare top high schoolers these days to 20 years ago? I think in everything, high school, college, pros, everything, players are always getting better. I just think they have more training, but just everything. They have better equipment. They have, the resources are much better now than 20 years ago. The way this could not be true, but I feel like people always think that players were always better in their day. Like, I almost always hear people be like, oh, like you'll always hear coaches saying this, this guy, back in my day, kids just don't play the game like they used to be. And that's all you always hear. When in fact, I think everything, every sport, everything's always getting better, I feel like. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it doesn't take much to watch Major League Baseball and see the athleticism of players, how hard the pitchers throw, how good their breaking stuff is, how, everything. Now, some people say, well, the hitters can't hit for average anymore or whatever, but I also think the pitching is just way better. I'm not saying there weren't good pitchers back in the day, but there's just a lot more of them now. But again, you talk to some older pitching guys and they'll say, well, no one can throw strikes, not like in my day. So, yeah, with the contraction of the minors, will things improve for players being fed, being housed, so on? I hope so. I think so. I think there's probably too many minor league teams for a while, so. What is the draft like for you as a first round pick compared to a last round pick back when you got drafted? Well, I think it's the same today. First round pick, you're going to get paid millions of dollars and you're going to be the organization's most important player, and it's going to be awesome. And when you're the last round pick, no one really cares. It's still a great achievement. I'm not saying it's not a great achievement for a player. Getting drafted anywhere is a great achievement. I'm just saying, the last round pick, you're not going to get really any signing bonus. You're going to be told to get out to a certain place and go play, and you could be cut immediately because there's nothing invested in you. But the cool thing about baseball is you could also make the big leagues. It's going to be hard, but you could. Keith, thank you so much for the super chat. Thoughts on Shohei Ohtani as a long ball hitter and dominant pitcher for the Angels? I think he has some of the most talent. He's one of the most talented players you'll ever see. I mean, the ability to, he's nasty. He throws hard. His command is still, um, I think obviously like everyone, he still has to improve on that. But that splitter is just filthy, and his power is just ridiculous. And he's a great athlete, and he's huge. Like one of the things that always stands out to me when I watch him like just walking around, I'll notice a lot when he scores a run, he hits home plate and he walks back to give high fives to people. He just looks like gargantuan. His back looks like this big. He's just huge. Did the team call me right before they picked me or no? So they did not. If you guys want to see how, well, actually, let me tell you this. The team called me and said like, "Hey, man, congratulations, we just drafted you. Did it come? Did you see it on back in my day? It was on the internet. It wasn't on TV. If you want to see what it looked like when I got drafted, just on YouTube right now, maybe open up like another tab or something and type in Matt Antonelli draft day. I put the video up of the draft day. Isaiah, I was actually going to answer your question next, but since you typed it 462 times, now I can't. I do have a YouTube Play Button Award. Yep, it's right over there for 100,000 subscribers. What's the next one after 100,000? Do I get one for 250,000 subscribers, or is it 500,000 or just a million? I don't know. Jack, that's funny right there. Maybe next time tell him to look at the label of the ball, not the label of the bat. But I do like that you watched our other video. What do you think is going to happen in Tuesday's Yankees Astros game? I have no idea. I guess that's the one good thing about baseball. You don't ever know what's going to happen. What kind of recognition signs did you give the third base coach and runner on a squeeze? Usually the I got it would be like just kind of like grab the top of your hat or your top of your helmet. When I finally made it to the MLB, were you more excited for yourself or more excited for your dad? Excuse me, I'm tired. I had two 8:30 a.m. double headers the last 2 days, both on the road. So one was almost an hour drive, and then one was 30 minutes. Um, I guess I was excited for for both of us. Go-to restaurant when I played in Portland. It was actually a breakfast place that Laura and I loved in Portland. I can't remember what it's called. If I ask her though, she'll remember because she she remembers everything. So watch this. This was a long time ago. This was Portland was 2008. She'll remember. Hey Laura. Hey Laura. What was that breakfast place in Portland that we liked? Mother Anna's. See that? She's got this. Oh, Mother's? I can't hear what she's saying. Mother's, I think she's saying. She's got this, she has a weird memory. You can't ever, this is a tip in case you ever meet my wife. You can never lie to her, ever, 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 ever lie. Because eventually, you can't lie. You shouldn't lie anyway, because then you always got to remember, like, oh, what did I say about that? Just don't lie and you'll be okay. But don't ever lie to Laura, because she will, the one time that you say it could be 25 years down the line and you're talking about a story and you say something a little bit different. She's going to say, oh, hold on a minute. 25 years ago when you said that, you told me that it was gray and now you said it was black. So what was it? Were you lying? That is it like you can't do it. She doesn't forget anything. And I don't remember anything. So whoa, we got a 3-run homer there. Holy shnikes, Diaz, 100 miles an hour, let up a 3-run homer. Can you change your number in the big leagues? Yeah, sure. You just got to ask permission from whoever has it. He's having a huge year, huh, Hoskins? Hey, Just, thank you so much for Super Chat. There's no question there, though. I appreciate that, though. What's the best team in Antonelli program? Well, we have a lot of good teams. Like we have some teams right now. Like I know our 14U Black team is undefeated, really good. Our 12U team might be undefeated right now. They might be like 10-0 maybe or something like that. I don't know. They're both really good. So it's tough to say because you have all these different ages. Like our 17U Black team this year, both our 17U teams should be good, but our 17U Black team is pretty loaded, especially with pitching and let's see this homer real quick. Hold on. So that ball hit right off that top bar, which how do they, I don't know how this park works, but that should be a home run. Doesn't have to clear that fence, right? Just has to clear the, I'm making this up. I don't know. What's the best way to get inside the pitcher's head in the batter's box? I don't know if you need to try to get in the pitcher's head. I just think the most important thing is to not be in your head. So, we actually just put up a video on YouTube. Check it out. It talks about the main things to go through mentally to help put yourself in the proper mindset. Matt, how do you know if a player has it? Um, I'm not really sure. I feel like a player that they say has it is someone that just, um, I guess, performance on the field. What do they say? Nope. So it wasn't a home run. Oh, did he just give a FU? I feel like he just said FU, FU, FU. He's not happy. I'm gonna have to rewatch this one with volume later on. What was my hockey career like? I played in high school, and I loved hockey growing up. Best player I ever saw at any level. Um, I would say one of the most talented players I ever saw was this kid Jeff Allison, who's actually from my hometown. I played with him growing up and played with him and against him, and he was first round pick. Might have been the most talented player in the country at one point. So he was really good. But I've played against like Mike Trout and Josh Hamilton, and not enough to like Josh Hamilton hit me one of the hardest balls that I've ever had hit to me. Like that guy was a freak show. Um, and I faced, really good. I faced Max Scherzer and Tim Lincecum, Justin Verlander, Clayton Kershaw. So I don't know. All those guys are obviously awesome, but no problem, Isaiah. Are you a fan of stealing bases and bunting? Um, it depends on what level you're talking about. If I have somebody, I would say this. I think if you can steal bases at a better than like 80% clip, then yeah, steal bases. And bunting, I'm not a fan of just giving out outs, but I think you can use it as a weapon, as a bunt for a hit. I am watching this game, yes. I missed a super chat question. Does MLB hook players up with retirement, pension, etc.? Yeah, you have to play, I think, what, 10 years to get full pension? I played 1 year, so I get like a very small pension. Hey, Dill, thank you so much for super chat. Do you have any curveball hitting drills? So we do a lot of, I mix in fastball curveball, whether it's through a live BP, I'll mix in different pitches. I'll do short overhand tosses, mixing it in. So I think just seeing it there, as far as like actual curveball or hitting drills, other than that, we'll do some like angle toss stuff that might simulate a little bit. So like, if I'm the hitter here, I'd have the tosser over this way, tossing a front toss this way. So it's like a ball moving away from you. So I think like that kind of stuff. We do a lot of machine curveball stuff. Those are probably the main things we do for curveball drills. Responsibly all over the place. Thank you for super chat. How much? $2. How much money to fight a mayor? LOL, love the channel, man. No money. He'd kill me. That guy's like huge, and I'm not exactly in fighting shape right now, so. What do I think of the lack of spin on balls in MLB The Show? What, when the ball comes in and it looks like it's coming in like this? It kind of makes me mad sometimes. Any tips I have for a 10th grade late bloomer? I wouldn't say I have any different. Oh, Bryce is up again. He didn't come out of the game after that last at bat. I wouldn't have any other tips for you besides, like, I wouldn't have any different tips for you just because you're a late bloomer. So I think one of the best spots, this is not like just plugging the channel, but like a lot of people say, what's a good tip for me or whatever? There's so many tips that I could give. So like if you want, let's say hitting tips, just go to our hitting playlist. If you want shortstop tips, go to our defensive playlist. Yeah, they do look like knuckleballs. You're right. Jordan, thanks for the super chat. Milwaukee currently has 15 players on its injured list, only one potential COVID related, and is in first place. Ever seen that many at any level before? Man, that's a lot. I had no idea. That's never have I seen that before. No. Injuries are weird. Sometimes there's not much you can do about injuries. Sometimes there is something you can do. I would say most teams. This is just a guess. I mean, I haven't been around a major league team in a long time, but oh man, that was close right there. And the catcher really thought that was a strike. I do think that a huge part of, you're going to pay players lots of money. Like a huge component of that is having the players on the field. So I'm sure major league organizations are doing, oh man, that's a strike. That's got to be a strike. I'm sure major league organizations are doing everything they can to try to keep players healthy. If they're not, then, I mean, they should be. Just thank you so much for super chat. What kind of bat did you use? How heavy? I used a 34-inch, 31-ounce C271 Louisville Slugger, capped maple M9. What happened to the Chuck It Tryout? Do you mean the Chuck It, like the training tool that I use with hitters? We still use it. Should the Packers trade Rodgers? I would say trading one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and that pitch was nasty right there. Nasty. That's unbelievable that that game ended like that. I know I was talking to you guys and watching that, but the fact that that home run got overturned, and then, I mean, that might call for a YouTube video tomorrow. I'm going to have to go back and look at that, but that's crazy. What's the difference between a $50 wood bat and a $150 wood bat? I think typically if you're going to get like a wood bat that has like very good wood, like good grains, and like typically it's going to come down to how good the wood is. I mean, there's some crap wood out there, and that usually gets put in like a lot of the crappy stores that you see for like $50, and then the really good wood is going to go to the really good players. Like the big league players are going to get the best wood, and then it's going to kind of trickle down from there, I think. But so that's probably some of it. Some of it just might be like marketing and what players think of certain bats and certain brands that they're able to charge a little bit more money. I don't always think that like just because what players fall into the trap of thinking, and this is what I believe, I could be wrong on this. Sometimes players think, oh, this bat's 175 and this other bat's 130, so the 175 bat has to be a better bat. I don't think that's the case, but responsibly all over the place. Thank you for super chat. How much ball doctoring, tar, etc. did you see while in? I didn't see tar. I saw a lot of the biggest thing I saw was sunscreen and rosin kind of mixed together on the pitcher's arm. Didn't really see tar. I saw position players actually use pine tar. They put a little bit of spray, not the liquid pine tar, but like the spray kind of tacky stuff in their glove to help, because the balls are very slick. Thoughts of MLB players being made of glass in recent years? I don't know if players are made of glass. I think that I think teams are more. I think a couple things. I think one, teams are more cautious with players. You know, you pay a guy $300 million. You're not going to make him go out there and if he's not feeling good, if something's wrong, they're going to sit them down and make sure they're healthy. In today's game, I feel like a lot of times managers, organizations will say, oh, it's a long season. Like, let's not push it. Back in the day, it'd be like, just throw him back out there, dude. Like, just get out there. So some of that has changed. But I wouldn't say players are like more made of glass. I just think players back before it would take a little bit more to get a player out of the game. That's not always just the player. Again, that's sometimes the organization. What are the chances of someone making it to the major leagues? I don't know the percentage chance, but it is very, 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 very low when you think about how many people in the world play baseball and how many are in the major leagues. I don't know what percentage chance that is, but it's like, it's very low. Ever watched the Bat Bros YouTube channel? I have seen some of their videos. Yep, they do a good job. All right, everyone, I'm going to do one more question, and then I'm going to go to bed because I am tired. And I have a long day tomorrow of baseball and lessons and all that stuff. So, and the last question is going to be go-to place to eat in Sarasota. I go to Sarasota a lot. Let's ask Laura this question. We're going to end with this. Can you help me with your AP calculus homework? You don't want me to help you. Calculus freshman year at Wake Forest, I got a D. Best place to eat in Sarasota. Let's ask Laura. Hey, Laura. Laura. If you had one restaurant to eat at in Sarasota, what would it be? Huh? Because people are asking. Yep. What was it called? Laura says Summer House. She thinks. We got steak there when we were last there this winter. It was really good. And usually I would never get a steak to go. I would only want to eat, like, if I'm going to get a nice expensive steak, I want to eat it in the restaurant. But because of COVID and all that stuff going on, we got it to go. And it was still amazing. It was very good. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for all the questions. We got one last super chat here. Responsibly all over the place. Last one. One player, U25 to start team. Who you got? One player under 25 to start a team with. Acuna? Maybe. I don't think you can go wrong with them. All right. That's all we have. Thank you again, everyone, for thank you for the questions. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for all that stuff. Let me know what you think. If you go watch my latest video that I just put up with the whole Amir Garrett thing with Javi Baez and Rizzo, let me know your opinion in the comment section below. I'm just trying to get a gauge on what everyone's thinking when it comes to this. It's a pretty quick video. It's like 4 minutes long, I think. Cunha, Tatis, and Soto. Those were the three actually that were in my head, and I was just trying to go through them all and see where I wanted to go, and I went Acuna. Anyways, thanks again. Let me know what you think about that video, and we'll see everyone. We'll probably do this again. I've done it every Sunday night, I think, for the last couple of months, so